All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ask the King Holiday 2017 special. This is part 3, the final part. If you have not seen any of the first 2 parts, I recommend you check them out on YouTube. All right, if you're watching live on stream on my Twitch channel, welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the little bit of musical interlude that you heard during the break. All right, let's jump right back into it because I want to finish up. Let's answer a question, then I'm going to do some shout-outs to patrons. Then we're going to finish up with the questions. Sound good? All right. So a question to get you right back into things, folks, from Ray117. He says, Phil, have you been approached by any sponsors lately? If not, is there any way for you to secure sponsorship to supplement the lost revenue that you've gotten from YouTube this year? I'm not sure if you're big enough to get sponsorship, but I believe you could give out a sponsored shout-out during each pre-stream for Squarespace, Blue Apron, etc. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth of the matter is this. Number one, on YouTube, I'm not a big guy anymore. I have not been super white-hot popular since 2012. I have not been popular, not even like mid-sized popular, probably for a couple of years. Now, this year in particular, I have not focused on YouTube at all. I'm focusing on my live streams, folks. So, the opportunity that you see for sponsorship, go to YouTubers who primarily have a focus on YouTube. They're going to run ads for these shout-outs for these companies before and after their videos and stuff like that. They don't come to people like me. Number 2, sadly, folks, even with the amount of popularity that I do have, because I do have a hardcore fan base of viewers, I still do get thousands of people watching my stuff every single day, and I still make millions of views every month on YouTube, and I still get lots of great viewership here on Twitch as well. Sadly, because of the stupidity of YouTube and the way that the website works, when you search for me, you find out negative shit all the time. All you see is negative videos, slander, and shit. People have even said to me, Phil, it's hard for me to even find your playthroughs. I try to find the playthrough viewers on YouTube, and I said I get 10 negative videos about you first before the playthrough even pops up. Do you really think a sponsor is going to want to attach themselves to that? You know what I mean? And it really is. At this point, it's uncontrollable by me. I'll give you an example. Earlier this year, I left Machinima and was going to partner with another company, another partnership company. By accident, the information got out what the company was. Immediately, literally about 100 idiot trolls spammed that company on social media about how I'm a horrible person, I'm a pedophile, I'm this, I'm that, and they should not accept me in under their wing because, you know, I'm so negative. And then I talked to them and they said, well, Phil, we were going to sign you, but because of this, you know, we're a relatively smaller company. We can't really handle bigger things going on like that with our company, and therefore we can't take on a bigger responsibility of something like that, of having, you know, maybe having the risk of, for example, you know, negative people spamming our social media and stuff like that. So we can't sign you now. And that's what happened. I had a company lined up that was going to give me I didn't even talk about this earlier. They were going to give me a better partnership than what I have now with Curse. And the reason they didn't give it to me was because of trolls. Now, can you imagine a company signs me to be their, you know, a sponsorship? Do you really think that that company is going to want to sign me for their product? You know what I mean? Let's say, for example, I don't know, Blue Apron. I don't even know what they are. They have sponsorship for me. Immediately, these idiot trolls will go right to them and start, how dare you? Don't get Blue Apron because they're with DSP and shit like that. See what I mean? So it sucks because it's not me. Like, what did I do to make it so that Blue Apron shouldn't be advertised on my videos? Nothing. Because the shit that people say about me that's slanderous isn't true. But because these idiots stalk me, there's nothing I can do about it. That's the problem with internet-based advertising is right now there's no real protection against that kind of trolling behavior. It sucks. And no one is... The only sponsorship opportunities that I get a couple. Number 1, Twitch. Remember? Twitch had me do that promotional stream a couple months ago. That was awesome. Sometimes I get game companies who want me to not advertise big games, but little indie games. And the thing is, sadly, I need to put out video content for you guys that's going to entertain you. And if I'm playing some indie game you've never heard of constantly, it might be, you know, if I lower the quality of what I'm doing in order to take a paycheck, it's going to hurt me in the long run. You see what I mean? So, you know, even though I've gotten a lot of opportunities from indie game companies to put out videos about their games, I never really have done one. And that's really it. You know, I don't really get many opportunities because of the negative assholes who follow me. That's the bottom line. It's not because people don't want to sponsor me. It's because they see the negativity that people follow around and associate with me, and now they don't want to deal with that shit. And by the way, I don't blame that company that earlier this year I was trying to partner with on YouTube for not signing me. I agree, if you're a smaller company and you're trying to get notoriety and you sign a YouTuber who's going to bring negativity to you, regardless of the fact that it's me that's doing the negativity, I understand. I completely... And it sucks because, guys, guess what? I probably would have had a managed partnership, which means I wouldn't have had the issues I have with Content ID, with YouTube, you know, muting my videos and taking music out, with Nintendo games. All that I would have been avoided. But because of the fucking scumbag trolls, I don't have that. I lost out on that. And probably I would have been in a much better financial situation now than I am. It's all their fault. Isn't that nice? And there's nothing I can do about it. All right. Oh, that's right. I want to do so. First of all, I have a shout out over here for a tip, and then I have a few shout outs to do for patrons, and then we'll continue with the question. So there was a tip, a $2 tip from G Wumbo. And thank you very much for the tip, by the way, G Wumbo. And G Wumbo says, Phil, if you made the Patreon stretch goal for December, which, by the way, if I hit that stretch goal for this month, I'm playing both Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 Redemption runs starting January 1st. He says, shouldn't it be the patron's choice as to which Metal Gear Redemption run you do first? I think it would be best to give the patrons the power to choose what run to do the first with a Paul. 2 reasons why I'm not doing that. Number 1, because it doesn't matter. I'm playing both games regardless. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm starting Metal Gear Solid 2 first, but once that's done, I'm starting Metal Gear Solid 3. You may have to wait a few extra days or a week to get to Metal Gear Solid 3, but it's going to happen regardless. It's guaranteed. Number 2, the whole point of the stretch goal is that I'm playing both games and I can start immediately on January 1st. If I have to set up another poll to have people vote, gee, do you want to see Metal Gear Solid 2 or 3 first? Now you're delaying the playthroughs for 2 weeks. Because it takes a week for me to get everyone upgraded on the forums, and it takes another week for the poll to go up and for everyone to vote. I don't want that. The whole point of the stretch goal on this Patreon event is to get that event to happen right away. Although I'll be real with you, G Wumbo, and I'm not trying to be negative. At this point, I'm not even seeing anyone pledge to the Patreon to hit the lower level goal. And I don't even know how it's going to happen. Unless we see a bunch of people really come out in the next 10 days and pledge to my Patreon, I don't even know if the lower level goal is going to happen. I don't know why, because this is the event people asked me for all year. I finally set it up, and now no one seems to be pledging to make it happen. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Okay, I just don't. All right. That being said, though, let's go ahead and give some shout-outs to those who did contribute to my Patreon over the past 2 months. Thank you to the following patrons. Nicholas Thompson, Nigan Doe, Brightside Viking, Tom Dooley, Fallen 1570, Peanut Brother, Speedy7, Jared Jackson, Villix, Abdul Rahman Althani, Big Tone 995, Casey Wood, Bobby Portlock, Colton Hotchkiss, excuse me, Jamie Ford, Thomas McDonald, Sean Given, Mike Hunt 2018, Last Rambo 341, Ms. Monique, QPZMWN, Mayor Maracho, Deep Drive, Faithin 13, Ralik, Stormforce Gamer, Richie 7, Byron Ripple, Shoracho, Treos. Oh my god, I butchered that name. I'm sorry, man. I feel bad. I'm sorry I butchered your name. I really do. Astrius, Logan Shannon, Connor Brown, Joe Wiltshire, Michael Denealt, Planet Jeff, Christine Gebhardt, Erwin Hames, Kip Over, Atlas Telemon, Proto, Hank Duma, Nolan Lynch, and Omo Job. Thank you all for your ongoing patron support. The patron-funded Christmas special tomorrow, the Holiday Gaming Marathon, is all because of you guys. So thank you for the support. And if you guys are interested in pledging, getting your questions answered on the next episode of Ask the King, making this Metal Gear Solid event happen, all this right here, guys, and I need your support this month. I really do. With this tax bullshit I'm in right now, I need to get out of it. Shout out to a Bioman fan who did a 34-bit cheer, by the way. Back to the questions. Next question is from Hot Sauce 123. He says, I know you've been out of fighting games for a while. I think that the time that you went to a fighting game tournament in Tennessee in 2010 was one of the last major ones that you attended. Actually, I think the last actual one I went to was 2011 or 2012. That was the one where I'd hurt my neck really bad, and it pinched the nerve and the disc, and I lost feeling in my thumb, and I played one fucking match of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I couldn't feel my thumb, so I couldn't even feel when I was pressing the button, and I forfeit after that, because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even feel my finger to do like a basic combo, and I forfeit, and I went back to my hotel room, and I played Dragon Age 2 the whole time. That was the last major tournament I entered, I believe. All right, but anyway, he says, are you still in contact with the fighting game community, and what made you stop playing competitively? Do you miss it? I bet you have more stories to tell. Not really. Every once in a while, I'll get, I talk to maybe 1 or 2 people from the fighting game community. The other day, of all people, Jason Cole and Jaha were in my stream chat when I was checking out Fighting EX Layer. Now, those are guys, Jason Cole every once in a while. I haven't seen or talked to Jaha. 2007. That was the first time I had seen the guy. So, yeah, that was pretty wild. I have no idea what they were doing there, and they left after a couple of minutes. I don't know if someone just, told them, hey, Phil's playing or whatever. They decided to join or whatever. But I don't really talk to anyone anymore. The only person who I ever really had direct contact with was Coruchado, who used to both be high-level East Coast players. But, no, have not really been involved with anything fighting games in quite some time. Okay. Let's see here. The second part of the question was, do I miss playing competitively, and what made me stop? Well, what made me stop, I've talked about before. I'll say it in a nutshell. Too much time investment, too much money invested, and nothing for it, okay? From the years of 2005 to 2007, I spent an incredible amount of time, money, and effort traveling the country to play Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Even though I had a lot of fun doing it, I met a lot of people, I had a lot of friends and stuff that came out of it at that time. At the end of 2007, I took a look at my life. And by the way, that was when my back injury was diagnosed and all of that. And I was like, I've spent so much, all my free time, my 100% of my hobby time was playing Super Turbo and or Street Fighter, traveling the country to do it, paying lots of money to do it. And I was like, it's too much. It's just too much investment at this point. It is. It's too much. And I said, I want to do something else. And that's when I got back into being a casualized gamer. I got all the modern gaming consoles. I started playing all the games. That was when I played Mass Effect 1, and I played Uncharted 1, and I was like, damn, these games are good. Grand Theft Auto 4. I thought, damn, these are all the games I've been missing out on. These games are fucking outstanding. I feel like an asshole that I've only been playing Street Fighter for the past 3 or 4 years. Now, do I miss it? Absolutely. I get the bug all the time. When Ultra Street Fighter 2 came out last year and I was playing it on the Switch, and that's a far inferior version of Super Turbo, I was like, man, I'm craving fighting games again. I wanted to play them, I do. I get those cravings. I get those inklings that I want to play fighting games again every once in a while. I'm very excited for this 30th anniversary edition of Street Fighter coming out next year. I hope it's good. But honestly, would I sacrifice the amount of time, effort, money to get back into the competitive scene at this point? Probably not. Maybe I would go back and play Super Turbo in this anniversary collection at tournaments for a bit, but I don't really think that I would go back and be competitive high level at a new game or anything like that anymore. It's just so much crazy investment and everything. Plus, like I said, you guys know my situation. I can't. How could I take time out enough to be good at a new fighting game again? I can't afford to travel. So, there you go. I Will Break You asked me, with the whole Bitcoin and cryptocurrency rise and explosion recently, have you thought about getting involved in it? What are your overall thoughts about it? My overall thoughts about it are that it's a very risky venture, although some people have made quite a lot of money doing it. I'm sure there's an equal amount of people who have lost money doing it, okay? Just like any investment, financial investment, there's a giant risk factor involved, okay? Bitcoin Cash, LTC, there's like a million of these cryptocurrencies that are now emerging, right? I don't have any money to fucking mess with that. It would be one thing if this were 2011, 2012 Phil. Maybe instead of buying a bunch of stupid statues, I would have put that money into cryptocurrency. By the way, it didn't exist back then, or if it did, it was nowhere near the capacity it was today. So that being said, no, I probably would never. For me, even if I were to come into money somehow, I probably wouldn't fuck with Bitcoin because there's such risk-reward factor. I couldn't. Imagine if I somehow made a lot of money. Wow, I'm good, but I'm going to invest some of that in Bitcoin and I lost it all again. I can't, man. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So, great for people who can afford it. I'm not fucking with that shit. I got a few shout outs to do here. Shout out to Quack, who did a $5 tip. He said, happy Christmas. Good luck with your situation, with taxes and everything. Without calling the game a piece of shit, can you let me know if there's any chance that Street Fighter V Arcade Edition stream once it's out? Thanks. No, I'm not playing that piece of crap anymore. I already answered that on this actual show. I said I'm never playing Street Fighter V again. Wow, I cannot read this guy's name at all. So I'm not going to read it. But there was a $2 tip from someone whose name I cannot read. And they said, love your work. And then they mentioned a negative thread on another website that I'm not going to mention because it doesn't need a shout out. But he said, you're the most legitimate gamer on YouTube and Twitch. Fuck the haters. I got your back. Well, thank you for the $2 tip. Appreciate that. And shout out to Super Potatoes 1989. He did another 1,000-bit cheer. So would you ever consider doing Let's Plays of smaller indie games? Would I? Yes. But would people watch is the question. And that's what I'm nervous about. Let's say, for example, I decided to do a bunch of indie games, or games that are trying to get their names out there or whatever. But then I miss out on a big game. Was that going to negatively hurt me? I don't know what's going to happen here on Twitch. You know, people on Twitch tend to watch me play whatever, but then I play a game like Okami HD and no one shows up. See what I mean? Like, it's weird. Sometimes people will watch me play bad games. Sometimes people will watch me play games you wouldn't expect, and then other times the whole thing falls apart. So I don't know. Would I consider it? Yes. It's never out of the question. Next question. Let's see here. Okay. We're actually almost near the end of the forum questions this time around. This one is for, again, another one from Barbaitin52. And he says, what New Year's resolutions do you have for the next year that are safe to share, both business-wise and personally? Wish you a good 2018. I have 2 resolutions for 2018 so far. All right? The 2 most important things in my mind right now that I want to do. One is very much business and personal. The other one's personal. All right? But I'll share them both. I'm okay with sharing them both. Number 1, to keep my house. And I know, oh my God, Phil again. Listen, I worked my ass off to earn this house. All right? I did. And just because for the past 3.5 fucking years, people have trolled the fuck out of me to hurt my business and make me earn less money. And just because a dumbass tax attorney in Connecticut didn't do his fucking job and screwed me over, I am not going to give up. I'm going to work my ass off this rest of this month. For January, I'm hopefully going to raise enough funds to pay these taxes the end of January. Hopefully, I'll be okay. I don't know what's going to happen with this new tax law that's going on now that the Republicans have pushed through our Congress and our House, and Trump's going to sign it. I don't know if it's going to be more money, less money for me. I don't know what back taxes I'm going to owe that are going to be an ongoing payment. I don't know any of this, but I need to stay here, man. Seriously. As I've said to everyone, living here has been the best time of my life. Like, everything here, I love being here. The weather's better than it was in Connecticut. Everything that I need is in a close distance. Everything's great. My girlfriend's been coming and visiting me, and we love it. We're going around. She loves it much better than where she's from. And we're like, man, we could start a life together here. This is great, but I have to keep this house to keep it going. If I were to lose this house to pay my taxes, if I had to sell this house to pay my taxes, things would change a lot for the negative. I would have to lose a lot of the quality of the video. The office would go away. The quality of my videos would decline. I would not be able to stream or record as much as I do now because I'd have to figure out how to sell the house and move and everything. It would not be a good time, and honestly, it would probably put me in a really negative mindset too, which I don't want to be in. I worked my ass off, dude. Seriously. I can't lose this house. I gotta save it somehow, whether it's me working my ass off or the generosity of it, whatever it is, luck, pure luck. I win the fucking lotto. I gotta stay in this house. That's number 1. Number 2, I have not spoken a lot about this, but last year, half the year sucked, half the year was good in regards to my personal life because of my girlfriend. My girlfriend, I met her during the summertime. She was able to visit me several times. I had a lot of fun with her. I really, we really get along to the point where we both have jobs and everything. And I want to be able to maybe have her move in here with me during 2018. Whether it's sooner or later, I don't know. It's all going to depend on this tax situation. But that would be my other resolution. If I can make it happen and maybe we can move in together, you know, she could get her foothold here, start working. I could have 2 incomes again, helping with everything. We could have a great life together. Kind of getting back on track because, man, did 2017 throw me for a fucking loop with all the negative shit that happened. And I need to get back on track 2018 positive because, you know, I can't keep having, wow, something great happens. Oh, my God, life-changing, horrendous thing happens. Oh, okay, we're kind of better. Oh, my God, another negative thing. I can't. I got to have things level out, man. Stress and everything, stress levels, I need things to level out. And that's what I really need. I need 2018, man. That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing if, like, she could move in with me and things work out well and now we're back on track for positivity. But let's see what happens. So those are my 2 resolutions for 2018. All right. Okay. Next question from Rob14287. He asked, Phil, I love your streams, dude. I've been a long-time viewer. Don't always manage to catch your streams when you stream, but I do watch all your stuff that you record for YouTube. My question is, would you consider replaying some of the games that you played years ago and record them with your camera? For example, Silent Hill and Skyrim and many other games. I can't wait for you to do your Bloodborne Redemption run. It's going to be epic. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Well, Rob, this actually ties in, I believe, with another question. Hold on a second. Because I wanted to read both of them at once and answer them. Ah, okay. On Twitter, the Jackhammer actually asked me, your 10-year anniversary is coming up. Will you have any plans to do anything special? Well, what I'm thinking of doing is doing a series, all right, where I take some of the games that, number 1, I enjoyed playing the most, and number 2, you enjoyed as playthroughs, and maybe doing quick second runs. They wouldn't legitimately, obviously, be original Let's Plays because I've already played those games, but maybe redoing them now with viewer interaction during the streams, now with maybe a spin. For example, the Silent Hill games, I didn't even direct capture, right? So maybe do a direct capture and go back and replay. So maybe I would consider redoing, you know, the 10-year anniversary special of the summer. I replay one of the Silent Hill games. I replay Heavy Rain once through quickly. I replay, you know what I mean? People pick the best playthroughs I've done over the years. Maybe there's a poll for it. And then I end up playing a few of the games from over the years that I've really enjoyed playing and replay them as like an anniversary celebration, right? That could be pretty good. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That's one of the ideas I had. Another idea I had was going back and maybe doing what some YouTubers have done. Watch your own old videos and do like picture in picture. So my video would be playing and I'd be over here commentating over my own video. Because I don't even remember. Dude, 10 years of my life I've shared with all of you. Do you really think I remember every game I've played or ever? No. In fact, I'm sure playing a lot of these games, there'll be shit I don't remember at all. And I'd be like, holy shit, I'd react to it again, you know? So, could be pretty good. I'm thinking that maybe another thing that I do, all right? Another thing that I do for the year. We'll see. Let's play it by ear and let's see what happens. But a couple ideas I have for a 10-year anniversary kind of thing. Maybe going back and playing a few games I've played before. Maybe one of them, all right? Richie7 says, Phil, Merry Christmas. What is dating life like being a YouTuber with some degree of fame? Do girls actively seek you out to date as fans or admirers? Conversely, have you experienced the opposite happen where you meet a girl who likes you, but once she discovers your public persona, decides not to pursue you? How has your very public life affected your single life? Both ways. It's affected me both ways. Because before I had public relationships on YouTube, there were a few girls who I spent some time with behind the scenes who I never showed publicly whatsoever. And that happened a couple times where there was a girl who maybe I had a few dates with or I had a little bit of time with. And the girl liked me. But then when she found out, oh, YouTuber, and then saw what I did, she's like, oh, man, so you're basically constantly in the public eye. You have all these videos of you on the internet. And then, by the way, this was before the negative shit. This was before This Is How You Don't Play. We're talking the early years, like 2010, stuff like that, okay? You know, they would see that and be like, man, I don't know. You know, I have my own life, my own private life, and I don't know if I would ever want that stuff to go public or whatever. So there were a few girls who I did date for a while, not too long, but for a while, who eventually they didn't work out because I was a YouTuber. At one point, I was like, man, I don't know if this will ever work out because I'm a YouTuber. My 5-year-long relationship with my ex-girlfriend was because I was a YouTuber, and she messaged me on YouTube. And it was weird because I just happened to check my YouTube inbox one day, which I didn't often do. I saw this message from a random girl. I read it. I had a conversation with her, and then basically ended up liking each other. And then 5 years, right? A 5-year relationship. So that one was based off of YouTube. My current relationship, I'm not going to tell you. Blah, 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 blah. What I will tell you is my current relationship is very different from previous ones that I've had, which is a very, very good thing. Let's put it that way. That's why I've tried to keep it under wraps. I don't tell you guys too much about it. You don't know who the girl is on purpose because, you know, well, let's face it. Even when she ever does move in with me, you're going to find out a hell of a lot more because you're probably going to see her in videos like DSP Tries It. She'll probably show up as cameo appearances in my streams and stuff, all right? But that being said, right now, I'm certainly not going to tell you anything. And I got to keep it that way. Very different, right? But I've seen both sides. There's been girls who like me because I'm a YouTuber. And on the flip side, there's been girls who it hasn't worked out because I'm a YouTuber. So. All right. Oh, the final forum question. Then we get to quick Twitter questions. And then we're done. Okay? So the final forum question was from, you might recognize the name, Popsicolo. What's up, Popsicolo? Thank you for asking this question because this is actually a really good question. So Popsicolo asks the following. He says, Phil, I've always been curious about pro wrestling after watching your stuff over the years, but I never knew where to start. How does one get into watching wrestling at this point? What's a good point of entry to understand what's going on? Oh, man. Here's the thing. This is an incredibly pertinent question for the modern day. And you might say, well, why? Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling right now is incredibly complex. First of all, the amount of shows. There's Monday Night Raw. There's SmackDown. There's shows on the WWE Network like 205 Live and NXT, right? There's pay-per-view events. There's more outside of WWE, more indie-style wrestling, things like Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, that kind of stuff. Yes, Impact Wrestling still exists, if you can believe it, although no one even talks about it anymore, which is funny. So you got all this stuff going on, okay? Where is the jump-in point? It's tough. And the reason I say that is because now what's happened is there's like a clear line from wrestling. You start in the indies, then you go to maybe the higher indies like either New Japan or Ring of Honor. Then you either get signed to like Impact or you get signed to like NXT developmental for WWE. Then you go on to NXT. Then you go on to either a show like 205 Live or the lower class shows. Then eventually you get into the major shows like Raw and SmackDown. Then you make the big time. The problem is, all right, wrestling has become so complex that there's so many people getting into wrestling, and it's such a big industry now. It's all, you know, back in the 1980s, to get into pro wrestling, you needed to know like 20 people. You know, 20 wrestlers, you know all of pro wrestling, or at least the big guys, right? Now it's like, my God, every day you turn on the TV, it's Kevin Owens, who came up from the indies, and he was Sami Zayn. They're both indie guys, right? Oh, but you need to know that Kevin Owens was a big guy in Ring of Honor and basically carried Ring of Honor for 2 years. You need to know that Sami Zayn used to be called El Generico in the indies, and he had this whole gimmick in order to understand that there was a relationship between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to even understand the plot lines that are on modern TV. But then you've got new up-and-comers like Prince Devitt. Oops, that's not his name anymore. His name is, you know, Finn Balor, and he was good in the indies, but now he's here. But why is WWE got him as a prominent role on TV? But then he gets injured, so now he has to drop the title. Now he comes back a year later. Now he doesn't get the push that he had last year. I don't understand why not. And then you got guys like AJ Styles, who comes and immediately becomes a main event picture. None of it makes sense, all right? None of it makes any sense. It's incredibly complex, okay? Incredibly complex, because now you got these levels. It used to be you only get exposed to these big guys that WWE pushes. Now they've got indie guys constantly coming in and everything. You don't know who the fuck they are, and next thing you know, the company treats them like top guys. So it's incredibly confusing. All right? Incredibly confusing. Incredibly confusing in that regard. Because, how do you keep track of it? I'll give you an example. Right now, my girlfriend is not into pro wrestling at all. She's never watched it, okay? And We haven't watched any together yet, but we've been having discussions about maybe in 2018, if things go well, if I can get past this tax situation or whatever, okay, then maybe she can move in or whatever. But I told her, I said, you know, I'm an avid fan of pro wrestling. I watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, 205 Live every week, and once a month I watch a pay-per-view. Are you going to be okay with that? Or should I need to cut back? Because I told her, you know, when people move in together, you got to compromise. You got to understand. So there'll be things she likes, things I like, and some things we'll watch together, some things we won't. It all depends. And she tells, no, I'm actually interested. I want to learn about pro wrestling. Will you teach me? And I was like, oh my God. How am I going to teach her? I'm just imagining the first day we sit down, she's never seen pro wrestling, or she doesn't watch pro wrestling, and we sit down to watch Monday Night Raw. And I'm going to have to try to explain to her the things going on. It's going to be quite an interesting experience. Let's put it that way. Okay. All right. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you, like, what's the best place to jump into pro wrestling right now. It's too complicated. It's confusing. And to a lot of effect, I understand why WWE did what they did. What they realized is that the internet element and the people who are well informed on wrestling are growing. It's very easy. It's like hype when you see a guy, a guy who you saw from the indie scene, all of a sudden get signed to WWE and then make it to a main television show. You get hyped, you get pumped, you get excited, right? But not everyone is that informed. And that actually seems to be the problem. Is that in a lot of ways, in a lot of cases, what I'm seeing is they have a new guy that they put on TV and they push him out of nowhere, all right? And when they do that, all right, when they do that, it's so confusing because they do it and then you're like, well, who is this? Oh, well, this is someone who was good in the indies. The other problem with WWE, they won't tell you the background story. So, for example, they'll say, oh, well, that guy was big in the indies. He's been everywhere. Okay. But they won't tell you, oh, this was the guy who literally, when he was in Ring of Honor, held up the company for 2 straight years. He was the big head guy. That's why it's a big deal for him to be coming into WWE. They don't say that. In fact, they don't even mention the other companies. You know, you have Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy coming into WWE last year. Oh my God, they've returned to WWE, and they had a big hot promotion they were doing when they were in Impact Wrestling. And they kind of allude to it, but they won't say it outright. You know what I mean? You see what I mean? So, very confusing. Very, because it's so convoluted with so many wrestlers coming in from other places now, it's very hard to keep track of everything, too. So, I don't know. Honestly, Popsicolo, I wish I could answer your question. What I would say is this. Here's what I watch. I watch Raw and SmackDown, and I watch NXT. 205 Live, that's a show that's like, if you're really into wrestling, you want to see the quick guys go around, whatever. Really, all you need is the 2 main shows and NXT. Sadly, to watch NXT consistently, you do have to be a subscriber of the WWE Network. If you just watch those shows, at least you'll start to see the people. And NXT is where they train the new guys. So hopefully when the new guys start coming up and getting promoted, you'll have seen them already on NXT and know who they are. Versus, oh, WWE just randomly throws a new guy into the mix out of nowhere and you don't know anything about him. That's the problem, is they do that a lot and you don't know what the hell's going on. So I guess that's what it would be, all right? That's what it would be. Okay. Let's answer some Twitter questions. But first, I got a couple shout-outs. It looks like I got a 10-bit cheer from another name. There's no way I would ever pronounce it. But the 10-bit cheer says, how are you holding up after the stupid Gilmore Girls marathon yesterday? He's talking about yesterday I played Life is Strange Before the Storm. And yeah, Life is Strange Before the Storm was terrible. I finished it up. Oh, I'm still recovering. I'll be recovering for weeks, but thank you for the sentiment. Ponage101 tipped me $5. Thank you very much, Ponage, for the tip. Some Stupid Idiot also tipped me $2. Thank you very much for that. Then I got a 25-bit troll cheer. Thanks for the money, dummy. And then I got another $2 troll tip. So thank you for the $2 troll tip. Very nice. All right. Let's finish up with these Twitter questions, okay? All right. Kekin asked a question. He says, what are your favorite Christmas specials? I personally can't do without It's a Christmas Charlie Brown. I am heavily into Christmas. I watch quite a lot of stuff, folks. I do. Let's see. Charlie Brown Christmas, absolutely. Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Year Without a Santa Claus, Frosty the Snowman. All those are staples for me. Have to watch all those specials. The Muppet Christmas Carol, Scrooged, A Christmas Story, It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street. All those, staples. Home Alone 1 and 2, staples. Gotta watch them. Gotta watch that stuff during Christmas month. Now, there's other stuff, too. Bad Santa 1 and 2, Elf, those kind of movies. For me, those are good, but those movies aren't like, they're not as in high esteem as the class. They're not the classics, you know what I mean? They're still good holiday watches, but I wouldn't be too upset if I missed out on it. You know what I mean? See what I mean? Okay, but those are the ones that I really like, and I'm trying to think of, this year I bought Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. This was a Christmas special from the 1970s. It's made by the Muppets guys, the same team, and it has Kermit the Frog in it, but it's really not. It's all original characters, but it's funny because all the voice acting is actually done by the people who did the voices of the Muppets, so you can recognize half the voices anyway. But I finally got it on DVD. It was, I think, the 40th anniversary edition, and I loved watching it back. I haven't seen it in a while. That was really cool. In the next few days, I'll be watching Home Alone 2, Christmas Story, Scrooged, and It's a Wonderful Life in particular. Those four I have not watched yet, so I'll be watching those. And The Year Without a Santa Claus with the Snow and Heat Miser. Haven't watched that one yet either, so I got a bunch of Christmas stuff to get caught up on before Christmas hits in just a couple days. All right. Glitch Crazed asks, if someone made a biopic about you, who would you want to see play you? And to fall into the topic of Christmas, what is your all-time favorite Christmas movie and why? I think my favorite, it's a tie. I really like Scrooged, and I really like A Christmas Story. I like both of those movies. Gremlins, by the way, I forgot to mention, is one that I watched as well. I do like that one because it's like a Christmas horror movie. But I would say Scrooged and A Christmas Story are two of my overall favorites, if not my favorites, and they kind of tie overall. Who do you guys think that should play me in a biopic? Who do you guys think should play me? John Goodman, says Bionichu. John Goodman, a guy who's like twice my age, twice my weight. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that. Jonah Hill. No, Jonah Hill is actually too young and too skinny. I don't know if you guys saw, he was on SNL the other day, just sitting in the audience, and he lost like a ridiculous amount of weight, and he doesn't even look like himself anymore. So it couldn't be Jonah Hill. Ricky Gervais, Seth Rogen, the guy who played Dante. You guys realize all these people are older than me, right? You can't have someone older than you play you. It doesn't work. Michael Cera. There you go, Michael Cera. You know what? Michael Cera. That's the answer. I would have Michael Cera play me because it would be so accurate. There you go. All right. Let's see here. Dungeon 00X. What was your favorite moment this year from your channel? You know what? I'm going to turn that to the stream chat, guys. What was your favorite moment of all the streams and all the content I put out so far in 2017? What was your favorite? Put it in the stream chat right now, and I'll read some of them off. Because honestly, for me, I like every day. Every day I get to play games and share and have fun with you guys. I enjoy. And for me, it's very hard to have a moment that stands out because I do it so much. It's more you guys. So what do you guys think? Let's see. People are thinking right now. Need for Speed Payback, says Bambino. Fighting Game Salt, says Mudai. Bionichu says, my pacifist run of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, the one game that I've won so far, and the Friday the 13th gameplay in general. Zelda Breath of the Wild, Salty Sunday streams, Goomba stacking. On this very stream saying no a lot. When Phil was playing Red Dead Redemption and told about his cousin dying in Mexico. That was a true story. Uninstalling Injustice 2. Playing Ultra Street Fighter 2. Your first Nintendo Switch bricking out of the box. Damn. There were a lot of good moments this year, huh? So there you go. There's some of your answers. Pon Doodles says, Phil, you've already voiced your disdain for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and I agree with you, but aside from the obvious bug fixes and glitches, what else could be done to make it a better game? If it's already been done, what game has done better what PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has failed to do? No, listen, I'm playing the Xbox One version. It runs like shit. I don't know how this game plays on PC at all. But if the game had a higher frame rate, if the game had non-delayed controls. Right now the controls are massively delayed. Better gunplay because it's so hard to even aim and shoot anyone in this goddamn game. Any of those things, those 3 things would be amazing. Because imagine if you could actually play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, but everything was responsive, right? Now the game would be incredibly skillful. Instead, now it's a joke. It's like a potluck. Everyone just fucking shoot everyone. And there's not a lot of skill to it because it's all randomized bullshit. It really is randomized bullshit. Because of the gunplay is so wonky. So that's all I want. Better frame rate, less input delay, better gunplay overall. Those 3 things, the game would be incredibly better, in my opinion. Josh Tolliver asks, the holidays are usually a time to celebrate life and look forward to the new year. What do you think your biggest achievements of 2017 were? What do you hope to see for yourself in 2018? By far, number 1, still being here and surviving the YouTube adpocalypse. Ladies and gentlemen, until this bullshit tax issue hit me, I was doing good. I had found a way to adapt from being a full-time YouTuber to a full-time streamer, and I was paying my bills and everything was fine. It wasn't until this tax bullshit happened that I was negatively affected, and now I'm in trouble of losing everything yet fucking again, which is so ridiculous, I know. But the fact that I had stayed afloat when so many other full-time YouTubers were calling it quits and throwing in the towel because they didn't have a way, I found a way. And it was your support that made that happen, folks. If by far that's the best thing this year, right? Obviously. That's my biggest achievement with all my stuff online. What do I see? Where do I hope to see myself in 2018? Let me put it this way. I hope to continue to keep doing great streams for you on a daily basis. I hope to see my streaming increase and grow, to see more people showing up every day regardless of what I'm playing. You know, more people following and showing up for the fun interactivity of the streams. Having more original streams, right? Things that I do for a first time on stream that are different. Like, for example, tomorrow, my holiday gaming marathon is the first. I hope to keep doing fun stuff like that for you. And hopefully get myself to a point financially now where I don't have to worry about these kind of fucking emergency bullshit happening multiple times during the year, and kind of get back on track where maybe in a year or 2, I can save up, I can pay my bills properly, maybe I can actually go to like E3, because the thing is I could get into E3 right now if I could afford it, and I can't. I would like to do that stuff again, but we'll see, alright? The Jackhammer 43. Oh, he already asked about my 10-year anniversary. I already answered that for you. Alright, so the final things are just going to be some shout-outs here. And then we're done, okay? So, shout out to... I had 2 anonymous tips here, it looks like. You should take different questions. Instead of talking about the history of YouTube and wrestling, it would make me Ask the King more interesting. I don't know if you're aware, I answered a ridiculous amount of questions this show, and only maybe 3 of them were about that. So, I don't know what else to tell you, but thank you for the tip. I got another anonymous $2 tip. He says, I tipped you the other day and this kid PM'd me on Twitch telling me I shouldn't donate to you. Let this be a warning to him. If I catch you in the street, I'm going to piss into your mouth. Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Oh, yeah. Golden showers for you. Wow. Alrighty then. Shout out to Resident Evil Beating, who did a 10-bit cheer. It says, did you know that President Donald Trump is in Home Alone 2? Absolutely, I knew that. And Luther Cujo did a 10-bit cheer and asked, am I still playing Dokkan Battle? Yes, I am. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the holiday 2017 edition of Ask the King. Thank you very much for watching. Now I get to rest my voice for a couple of hours, thank God. I'm going to be uploading these videos to DSP Gaming. Excuse me, I screwed that up. I'm going to be uploading these videos to the King of Hate vlogs on YouTube. So if you missed any portion of this live on stream, this is on demand on YouTube, all right? The next show is in 2 months. It's going to be around the end of February. You can already post up your questions on thekingofhate.com. There's a thread for it. If you want to guarantee your questions will be answered, you can pledge to my Patreon. Check that out. Thank you, everyone, for a great holiday edition of Ask the King. I hope that you enjoyed this incredibly long stream. Thank you for all of your support. Your cheers, subs, and tips were very much appreciated during this stream. And Merry Christmas to all. To all a good night. Reminder, tons of Christmas content coming up if you're not, if you're watching this relatively quickly, including the Holiday Gaming Marathon on Friday, WWE Sims, traditional annual Holiday Sims, Fantasy Sims on Sunday, an IRL special stream on Monday, plus more PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Great stuff, folks. Thank you very much. See you all later. Peace out. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody.